What's up, everyone? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And in this video, I am going to walk you through some of my new favorite amp models in the Fractal ecosystem. Before we get started, if you want to download some of my favorite Fractal tones for yourself, including a lot of my preferred settings for these amplifiers that I'm going to talk about in this video, you can head over to matthewdale.com/blocks and download my blocks library for yourself for free. Up first is going to be the Texas Star. Now, this isn't a new amp model by any stretch of the imagination. It's just one that I found, and a lot of these are just ones that I found that I'm using a lot more often than some of my old standbys. The Texas Star is modeled off of the Mesa Boogie Lone Star, and to my ears, this is almost like a perfected Fender type of platform. Now, Mesa Boogie and Fender amplifiers, have always kind of had a lot of similarities. Probably most notably, the Mark series is based off of a modded Princeton. And the Lone Star, or the Texas Star in this case, kind of feels like a bigger Fender that, again, is perfected. So here I am on my Strandberg Fusion. I'm on the neck and middle pickups, or I am now, and you can hear kind of the Fender-esque qualities in this little smiley face curve, but something that's a little bit more refined. Something that's really, it's got this really nice, deep, but clear. It's not deep and flubby, it's deep and clear. And it's got a nice, sweet top end that doesn't, again, get in your face. You can see my preferred settings on here. I got less bass, a little bit more on the middle and treble. There is no bright switch to kind of worry about. And on the clean channel here, the gain is at a moderate 3. If I go over to my bridge pickup and hit on the lead channel, now we have, again, this driven, I would still put it like in the Fender realm, but it doesn't get floppy like a Fender will get if you drive it a lot. So this is a really nice, higher mid-gain amplifier tone. Good for rhythm and power chords. Lovely. And then it takes boosts really well over on this next channel here, channel C. I've got a little bit of the FAS boost engaged. Something just to kind of make the mid-range just pop out just a little bit more. So here's no boost and boost. And then you've got that. Lovely amplifier. Let's move on to the next one. Hey, just real quick before we get into more of these amp tones, I've got a great update for you. Please stick around to the end of this video where I talk about what that update is. I know you will love it. Something that is newer in the Fractal ecosystem is the Rev Generator amp model. So I've got this on this preset, this Rev preset here. I've got the green, the purple, the red, the entire smorgasbord of the Rev series here. Now, just a quick little blurb. All the amp models that I'm going to be talking about here also just have a little splash of studio reverb just to add a little bit of life to the direct tones. Here is the Rev Gen Green 1. This time, no bright switch. That is a great rock rhythm tone. Now, I like the bright switching gauge. So you'll see these amp parameters change around a little bit, so you can see when I engage the bright switch, I dial the treble way back to kind of compensate for that. But the bright switch adds something a little above what the treble knob controls. This is like my happy place of Zeppelin 2. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I really like the bright switch in here. I just have two different flavors. And there they are back to back again. Just something a little bit different and something I like a little bit more about the bright. Now, purple gets a little bit more in the heavier high gain stuff. This to me is really good for like early 2000s, you know, in my age, since I grew up in the pop punk age. This is really good for like Blink-182 type stuff. Definitely not limited to that, but as soon as I hear that tone, I'm like, oh, I'm going to use that for when I play Blink-182 stuff. Now, over on the red side of things, this is like just this, for me, it's like this go-to high gain lead, excellent amplifier platform for this. And what's nice is if you keep it on like the neck pickup, it doesn't flub out. So it's a very well-behaved high-gain amplifier, and that's kind of further enforced by, look where the level is. I'm at -10. You know, usually on something that's like, you know, plexi category or something, you really have to like bring this back down, or even like the JM45, you really have to bring this back down. Not that that's a bad thing, but it just goes to show the construction of the real-world amplifier, right? It's meant to be played at high gain at various amp levels, and it does that in a very well-behaved manner. This is one that I think not many people talk about in the Fractal ecosystem, and it is one of my absolute go-to amplifiers for a lot of different things these days. It's the Archon amp model, also known as the real-world PRS Archon amp. I'm going to start with this on the neck pickup because this has a really beautiful clean channel. Really, really, really nice. I have the bright switch on. I still have a little bit of treble engaged with the bright switch. A little bit of that smiley face thing. I'm just dialing the mid-range back a little bit more. Now here's my neck and middle pickup. Still just stays really nice and clean. The gain isn't like crazy up high. It's also not crazy low. It's just in that sweet spot where you get the benefit of adding a little bit of gain to your signal without actually getting into like distortion and crunch sort of territory. Put it on the bridge, it's got a little bit of bite to it. And that's pretty rare. That's pretty rare to find an amp model that stays really nice and clean on the neck pickup. You know, that's neck humbucker, and then bridge humbucker still have a bit of bite to it. Love that. Now, here's one of my favorites for like rhythm playing and power chord playing. The Archon amp model. This is the lead channel of this amp model. Sounds awesome for tight rhythm playing. Now you can see the gain is pretty low on this, over at 2. It has a ton of gain into it. Here's what happens if we boost it up a little bit. So even on all those like low E string chugs, it stays really nice and composed, sounds really good for power chords. Another one that is not anything new by any stretch of the imagination. However, I really find that I like this for JCM 800 tones. It is a modded JCM 800 style, but the Atomic High is just something that is just a force to be reckoned with. Now, that's no boost. This is just, and this is kind of like my typical Marshall thing. Dial back a little bit of the bass, a little more mids, a little bit more treble, depth and presence to taste. If I add in, over on the preamp section, if I add in the TS-808, now I've got a little bit more focused mid-range, a little less bass. I also found that this amp model works really well with the AC boost in here. It's not as focused as the modded 808 that has a little bit more higher mid quality to it, but for leads, this thing really pops. Here's the 808. AC. AC's got just a little bit more of this throaty character that I think works really well to fatten up a lead. Now, one that is absolutely brand new and absolutely one of my favorite new additions. I'm on the Axe-FX III firmware 25.01. One of my absolute new favorites is this Class A 30-watt Brilliant. I don't know which AC30 they are modeling this off of, but it just sounds absolutely incredible any way you play it, just about. So gain is up roughly around 3.5, a little more bass, a little more treble, and the dial in the high cut to taste, and don't be afraid of this knob. You can really crank this. Neck and middle cleans up. Sounds really good. Crunches. When you go over to the bridge pickup. Neck, it's going to get a little bit hairy. But not crazy hairy. It crunches more in the mid-range or the upper mids than it would, like a lot of amp models would do first in the low end. Really, really, really nice. If you add, back to my bridge pickup, add a little bit more gain. Again, a really, really, really nice, great classic rock rhythm tone. So these are all really foundational amp tones for me. All of my presets that I've been building lately have used probably, one or some of these, and these are like my new go-tos for a lot of guitar tones. Now, if you've been with me up to this point in the video, thank you for hanging around. I've got a lot of these. I'll just remind you again, I've got a lot of these already built out to my, here's my perfect AC30 over here. I've got the Texas clean and lead. I've got the revs, and I got some other stuff. A lot of these are already built into my block library. So again, you can find these for free in my block library. However, I'm going to do you one better. I recently added to and re-perfected my Fractal Amps template preset pack. So if I go over to presets here, I've gone ahead, anything from 59 bass guy all the way down to these. There were 10 of my go-to amps. Now there are 20 amp templates in my preset pack. It's still just $17 over on my Patreon. I will link this in the description box below. But I've got my new AC30, the Atomica High, the Archon, the Rev, the Texas Star, and I also have 5 new, I would say, genre-specific templates in here. Here's early days. This is like a 1950s sort of thing. If I go to this on the middle position, which is going to be the outer coils, like a telly sort of thing. You've got that. If I keep going, I've got some 60s style stuff going on here. 60s blues rock. Vibe. Little fuzz now. Here on the 70s, we've got some good old stadium rock. I'm going to play a little Aerosmith again. Big lead. Let's go over to my 80s preset, 80s Grease, staying on the bridge pickup. And then I've got something with a little bit more of a modern flair if I navigate over to it here, using the Texas Star as our clean platform. Tight rhythm thanks to the Archon. Flange. Big lead with the Rev. These are all available within this new an updated preset pack. I'm calling this a template pack because I really like, as much as you can use these as just standalone presets, I really like the ability to navigate to an open preset, build out my own tones with my own effects that I might need. If you hit on preset and go to new from template, here is my Fractal Amp templates preset pack. And let's say you want that sweet 80s grease. Now you have this. There's no searching around. You've got this preset already built out. And you can start making your own tones from there. So those are some fun updates that I have for you guys. Thank you for watching this video to the end. And if you do check out this preset pack, thank you in advance. My name is Matthew Dale. I am here to help you play better, sound great, especially with this video, and understand more. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.